Hi, my name is Jenna Fiola, and I will be talking about deaf culture. Okay. Deaf culture can be defined as a set of learned behaviors and perceptions that shape the values and norms of deaf people based on their shared or common experiences. A way to think about it is in the 1800s, people migrated from all different countries over to America, and they moved into areas with people similar to them and created their own same subcultures. So it's somewhat of the same thing. People of this deaf culture, they come and create their own subculture. You do not have to be deaf to be part of the deaf culture. Someone who is a sibling or a parent of a child or an adult who is deaf may also be part of the deaf culture. You really just need to conform to the way they live and use sign language as a main form of communication like they do. People who are deaf do not see it as a disability. They see it as a physiological difference, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. They accept their difference, and many are against cochlear implants because it's taking away that one characteristic that's making them unique. So people who are deaf do not see it as a disability or a disadvantage. They are accepting of it, and they're proud to be deaf. The deaf community definitely gives people a sense of belonging. Many people who are deaf, they feel discriminated against in the hearing world in all different aspects. First off, jobs, they have difficulty working or maintaining a job. An employer may feel that a deaf person cannot work as well as a hearing, which obviously is not true, but they may feel discriminated against in the workplace. Deaf people, when in the hearing world, may also feel discriminated against in theaters or community centers. They typically do not acknowledge deaf or hearing impaired members of the audience, so there are no accommodations made for them to be able to watch the same shows or movies as hearing people will. This is when deaf people really appreciate the deaf community because those accommodations are available for them and makes their lives easier. Like already stated, sign language is the main form of communication for deaf people. An interesting fact about it is that there's different dialects just like there is in spoken language. So if you learn sign language in one part of the country and move to a different part of the country, it might be slightly different, just like English is. For someone who is deaf, when they are communicating with a hearing person, if the hearing person does not know sign language, it obviously will be very difficult for them to communicate. This is a main reason why people that are deaf choose to stay in deaf communities because it gives them the ability to communicate easily. A disadvantage that a deaf or hearing impaired person may have in the hearing world is they don't have the ability to report crimes or emergencies, where if they lived in a deaf community, they would have that ability. This is something that hearing people may take advantage of, but deaf people definitely feel neglected on. So that's why a good reason why deaf communities exist. Luckily, people of the deaf community care a lot about the well-being of each other and they look out for each other. People who are deaf are lucky to have a community that they feel normal or typical in. For the future, I don't think that deaf communities will ever fully diminish. People of the deaf culture are very proud of their ways and they like the way they live, so I do not think that they would ever fully live in the hearing world. Also, people in the hearing world will never all know sign language, so there will always be a barrier between the hearing and the deaf world. In conclusion, I think the deaf culture is a great community, and I think that people of the deaf that are deaf is great for them. And I think more people of the hearing world should definitely get to know people of the deaf community and understand their culture and the way they live to create less of a barrier between the two worlds.